I'm way better than a Microsoft engineer.
You just keep promising how good it's going to be.
Well, I was going to say there's all those Twitter engineers that are now.
Too soon.
Too soon? I didn't think it was too soon.
Is it? I don't know. I almost put in the news and notes that none of the all the car manufacturers are pulling their advertising from Twitter.
Oh, too soon.
A, because they don't know what's going to happen, and B, because he's a competitor, and why would they pay him?
Let's get to the show.
Welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing
and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemon Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA.
We don't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions,
tips, tricks, as well as news and notes
from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot,
hella sweet or lucky enough. Chrissy.
And I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Is that me this week? I haven't even looked. And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a brilliant Emerald Pearl edition of our podcast. It's 269, which is the paint code for Mercedes-Benz green variant Brilliant Emerald Pearl. Thanks to Tim for the tip. Which Tim is that?
Furman.
Oh, very good. Thank you. If you're not driving a green Merc or any other color Merc, grab the E1R bingo card and follow along with us. What you working on? Chrissy, let's start you.
So much stuff going on here. So I did a good job of deep cleaning on the Mazda 3 this week, including Mother's Race Rubber Remover. Oh my gosh, let me sing its praises. It is glorious and it's magic is really what it is. You have a spot on your car, you just spray it on, spray. And I walk all the way around the car, spray a bunch of spots. And all you do is just wipe it right off and it comes right off. It's amazing. Car looks new. No, not new. Okay. It has a couple dents in it, but the incident that Jeff was in that made a whole, all kinds of black rubber all over the bumper, all better. Looks great. Just a couple scratches, but I put all the wheels away in the basement. Also note to race car friends who are sitting here, make sure that you're putting your race wheels away. Do not keep your car on race wheels while over the winter. So that's about what I did. I'm going to speak for Chris on this. So Chris did a ton of car work. He has just about finished the fixes on the Mazda, which is great. We have to rebuild the exhaust that's still outstanding. So we'll get to that soon. We did order a new manifold and that should be here coming in a little bit. He did full maintenance on the Cadillac. Tried to do most
the levitating Instagram post. That was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Right to the music too. I'm like,
right?
Wow, Chrissy went Jeff levels of internet.
I did a thing. I thought I was pretty proud of myself. Hopefully you guys caught that one. He was trying to do all the maintenance on the Mark until we found that it requires a special tool. No real surprise.
Damn Germans.
Damn Mercedes. They just don't want you to do
triple squares and
your harbor freight is not good enough to change the plugs. That's his reality.
That's a thing. Yep. So he's trying to do.
Yes.
Is a special tool required on the bingo card?
Oh
no, I don't know. It will be now.
I feel like it should be.
Yeah. So he got all of the part figured out where the spark plugs are, because no surprise, when you open the hood, there is a lot of covers and it's very hard to find anything. So once we got to them, he got in there and found that the spark plugs are very skinny and they do not fit with our normal because they're hidden and there's not enough room for them. They are very small, skinny, long. So he couldn't get them. So he had to put it all back together, which kind of sucks. Special tool came the next day. We have it. So that's fine. We'll get to it later. But and then he changed the oil in the CRV before driving forever. So he is on the road. He is thinking of us, but he's going through Virginia into North Carolina right now. So
I set that cruise control at 55.
Yeah, it might be a little
miserable, horrible. Common.
I mean, it's not Ohio. I mean,
it's Virginia.
I have had way worse luck in Virginia.
Everybody
in fact,
has.
I've never been pulled over in Ohio.
Really?
Oh God, Virginia is just
the worst.
They are the worst. So the worst.
It really is.
The only good thing in Virginia is DJ 914.
There you go.
And that's DC, so that's kind of like doesn't really
Yeah.
it's kind of
Alexandria. All right.
mental. What do you got going on?
This past weekend, Vicky and I went down and did we wrapped up SEMA and got a bunch of that kind of stuff. I'm hopefully going to put together a video with Matt and Mikey from the Grassroots 2000 fame. They walked me through their entire Ampere EV kit that they put into DeLorean and also into a 919 kit car, so that they actually had something without skin on it you could see. And it is a plug and play kit. They have like systems ready to go now. It's cool stuff. This all started because they wanted to build an electric car. They are adamant about this. They are coming for those nickels, and they demand that they be paid their $50,000 in nickels when they win. But halfway through electrifying one of their Hondas, they realized this is stupid. Why doesn't someone just make a kit? And no one makes a kit, so they made a kit.
Cool.
Yeah, had a great time with that. Check out Ampere EV. They're gearheads. It's a great couple of guys. They've done Lemons Racing. They've done the challenge. But after that, we immediately pivoted to the F1 experience on the strip. Saturday morning, we got up bright and early. The first 500 people through the gates at the Formula One fan experience also got tickets to the Killers. And Vicky was adamant we were going to go see the Killers. They wouldn't let you line up before 8:00. We got there at 7:30 and they lied, and they were already letting people line up. And
What the heck?
She was a little irritated, but we were still like one of the first 75 people. So it was fantastic.
That's fantastic.
We wandered around, posted thanks for everybody that was interacting with us on the social media. I posted all the cars, of course, lots of Mercedes. And then we went and, wandered around, checked that out, went and got something to eat, came home, took care of the dogs, and immediately returned so that we could line up and watch the F1 cars tear up and down the Las Vegas Strip. First, Lewis and Russell came out in an AMG and goofed around a bit, and then they swapped seats, and Lewis had to show the kid up a little bit. Then Russell gets into his AMG F1 car and just tears up and down the strip. He gets out of the car and out comes Checo in the F1 car. And he was not holding anything back, just rolls right out of Caesar's Palace, does a bunch of donuts while waving at the crowd because
awesome.
He's Checo. They had one of the Red Bull stadium trucks running up and down, and then Hamilton came out, and I am 90% certain broke his car because he did a few donuts and then parked it and got out and just waved at everyone. And then
You're like, this wasn't planned, but
suddenly one of the four doors comes out and like goes running down there with a bunch of Petronas techs. And if you're not a fan of the Killers, you should be, because they put on a friggin' amazing show at Caesar's Palace, and we had a great time with that. So that was our.
It looked awesome. I saw it from Facebook from them directly, and then you having great time.
Yeah, awesome. I wish that we were doing like the original like broadcast, trying to do a live event, and then just once people started showing up, the interwebs all fell down.
Crashed.
Not surprised. Everybody's texting their friends about all the cool pictures and all the cool videos. Yep.
Anybody see? I saw on the WTF1 social media that they had a event where they were going to paint the start finish line, and it's like a checkerboard, like a black and white checkerboard pattern, and they had it all laid out, and they had all these famous people, and all these people were going to paint one square. And they screwed it up. It looks like a jack-o'-lantern's teeth. Like nobody painted inside the lines. People painted over the line. It's absolutely hilarious.
Was this Vegas or Brazil?
It was at Vegas. They were going to paint where the actual start-finish line was as part of the whatever it was F1 fan experience. And they had a big ceremony. And they said, "Okay, everyone, paint." And they're, "Oh, not there. Oh, no. You're supposed to, oh no."
I mean, no.
It's a 420 friendly state.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going to excuses? Shoot.
Anyway,
Jeff,
sure.
You had to do non-car stuff this weekend, but you got some car news.
I did.
You're telling us what it is, which is terrible because we could have played Guess the Rental.
It was I already texted it to everybody, so
all right.
Only Eric could have actually played Guest Rental. So I had to drive from New Jersey to Boston with my students. We went to a leadership conference, and I only was taking 6. So I told my pool vehicle person, "Do not give me a 15-passenger van." And they gave me a 2022 Suburban refrigerator white. Other than the plastic floor mats, it was totally decked out, and it was freaking huge. I can't imagine anybody actually choosing to daily drive one of those things. It was wonderful.
You're
it got
literally
great gas
talking
mileage.
to like the people. Half the people on the screen do and have daily driven a vehicle that size.
Let me tell you, I was Diddy Mount across the Merritt Parkway because I can actually do that in the Suburban instead of my RV. It's ponderous and it takes up the entire lane.
And your RV doesn't?
No, I don't ever take that road on the RV because
Yeah, you
can't
cannot
fit.
Yeah, that's true. You cannot.
So maybe I was driving too fast. I don't know.
Chrissy laughs at you in Escalade.
Yeah.
The Escalade's smaller than the Sub.
Yeah.
They're the same
Anyway.
vehicle.
It is. It's a
No,
different
this
shape.
is extended.
It's a different shape.
Yeah. Anyway, I will say that I also made a deal with our friends at Bazinga, and next weekend the 300Z will be going bye-bye. I'm very excited. I will get my
Get
trailer
out.
back and only have one non-working race car at my house at the same time.
That's
And,
good karma though, because that's a good crew.
Yeah,
it's a good
absolutely.
team.
Yeah.
Also, they're close and they'll take the car. So
Exactly.
there's that. I
Exactly.
mean,
They're going to pay me.
karma
Eric's not
aside.
commenting, but Eric's back there nodding because sorry. So Bazinga, good crew.
Yeah, good people.
They had a good time at New Hampshire Motorsports until they went straight off the bowl into the gravel, and then the tow truck yanked their wheel off.
Yeah, the tow truck ripped the whole upright off, if I saw that right. It was an ungood time for everybody.
Did
Yeah.
they not have a proper tow hook?
They did. It
was
was
beach.
buried in the gravel.
Oh, boo. Okay.
Bad things happened.
That
Yeah.
stings.
Interestingly enough, the wheel that they ripped off, same wheel that's crashed on RZ. So it's not like I'm giving them anything.
that
can really help them.
Oh,
Mental
aw.
Mental asked about my new T-shirt. I'm gonna get it on the YouTubes here. Anyone who is my age might be able to figure it out. Probably no one else.
Oh,
Nope.
Yep. Nope. It's a song.
It's a song. It's absolutely right.
Yep.
I wish I
get
was
it.
a little bit taller. I wish I was
Wish
a
it
baller.
was a baller. Wish I had
Wish I
a girl,
who was
and
hot. I would call her.
Yeah.
She had a rabbit and a hat, and a baseball bat, and a 6'4" Impala. Chrissy, do you know that song?
That's a good one.
No.
That's a good shirt.
I
I
don't.
like it. Yeah.
No.
Eric, you're joining
Hey.
us in case you haven't figured it out. Fifth host of Lemon's Everything Bagel, Eric Rood is here, and he is from the Midwest, so he probably knows Skilo very well. He's approximately the right age.
No.
No, he's shaking his head. No.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Not,
he
not
he
my
is.
jam. Sorry.
He is
too cool. He was
in
too
a
cool for
hotel
school.
because he's actually hosting a rally right now. Why don't you tell us what you're working on?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I'm working on the Lemons Great River Road Rally, which is happening right now. We left New Orleans yesterday morning after a nice evening before the rally in the French Quarter, which was enjoyable. I managed to get out before it turned into the usual
Chaos.
Drunken.
piss
Debauchery.
stench that usually ends up
Mhm.
Yep. That's
French
a thing.
Quartering. We were, I'm sorry, that was 2 days ago, I think. Well, crap.
What day is it?
Anyway, you know how
It's-
rallies go. Yeah, we were in Vicksburg, Mississippi last night, which is barely a place. St. Louis tomorrow night, Quad Cities, whatever day that is after that, Friday. Let's say Friday, and then we finish in the Twin Cities on Saturday afternoon. So that's what I'm in the middle of. It's pretty great. I'm down here with Jeff Stobbs, who's running the rally, and his former rally partner Kevin Schragi is also working with us. Pretty good group, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I have been to the Quad Cities. I do
Yeah,
not
I've been to the
think
Quad Cities.
it is twice as good as the.
No, it's like an
That's Minneapolis.
inverse,
Yeah,
inverse
exactly.
exponential
Like
relationship.
the Twin Cities
So,
are probably twice as good as the Quad Cities.
Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna play some insider baseball here. Did you ever watch that show I told you about, Chicago Ant, Eric?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, it's a goofy cartoon. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. But in one scene, she's walking out of a bar, and these four college guys are walking in, and the guy says something, and she turns and she goes, "Oh, that's the last of the Quad Cities I haven't slept with," and turns around and goes back into the bar to
Finish the round. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, nobody actually knows what the Quad Cities are. That's the best part. I know
Rock
Davenport.
Island, Moline,
Davenport. There's casinos
place?
there.
I'm
I know
out.
there's casinos. Yeah.
Yep.
You ever know
Nobody
these-
knows the
this-
fourth one. There you
Yeah.
go. It's a mystery.
history.
Do you know it?
I think it's East Moline, but I might be wrong about
Oh, that's a cop out.
It is. It is.
What?
I stayed at the Black Hawk Hotel at a different conference there, and I stole all the pens. News and notes time.
Okay. All right. We are fans of Grassroots Motorsports magazine, and you should be as well. And if you are, you probably saw these two things. But this week, a pair of great articles showed up online. The first was a profile of Adam Jabay's Honda Civic, the EF hatch with Lambo doors and built-in pneumatic jacks from Daytona, from a Daytona prototype. Adam has owned it since he was in college, long before Grid Life, the event that he helped build. As the article states, not many people can say they still own a college car from 20 plus years ago, let alone regularly race it. Adam checks both boxes. Adam says, it's the only car I've ever really wanted to play long term. It gets a lot of looks on the street and the paddock, and it's a great conversation starter, especially when I open the doors. It's just so ridiculous. I love it. Adam is also a great person. He's humble, smart, and quiet, but he also is he's always willing to help gearheads get into motorsport. Yeah, the other well done profile. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to throw some Adam Jabay stuff out. He also built a GRM challenge car some years ago that was a Civic, but he painted it to look meticulously like the Colin McRae rally Subaru.
I
You know,
Yes.
remember that one.
the-
Yes.
Yeah.
and my friend Alan Caesar, who I started Lemons with, shot that car for GRM. Did really awesome photo shoot. You can go find that
Yeah.
online. But
And I think
the per-
also that same CRX in a different livery won the 2009 challenge.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a like a 93 Civic sedan, I think. And they made a fuel cell out of two salvaged sinks that they put together face to face, and they seam welded it all the way around
Okay.
with a pump in the bottom.
Sure.
Which is
Warning.
easily
This will not
busted.
pass Lemons Tech.
Yeah, don't do this. But
Also,
also,
isn't it
it's
heavy?
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it was for effect.
Okay.
And then my second Adam Jabay story is they raced in Lemons. Adam did with some of his friends. They had an orange CRX, not an HF, but like the middle trim one, 75 horsepower or
I
whatever.
think 1.5 is what the CRX is. It was like HF 1.5 and SI.
Yeah,
Chris
yeah,
would
it's the
know
one.
like all of
Yeah,
he would
we-
just
we didn't
school
bring our
us on
Honda,
it. My
but,
Honda guy is away.
Like there was, the wiring in that car was in the top 5 of jankiest things I've ever seen in Lemons.
No.
They
More
crushed
than
it.
race bar.
That is volumes,
more
of
than
encyclopedias
Sasha?
of janky things that
Yeah.
Eric has seen over the years.
Yeah, like there was just like, you know how there's like big bundles of wires in a wiring harness, like that was
Yeah.
just like sliced, and then there were just like wires sticking out everywhere like fingers. Yeah, it was like holy crap. And I put them in class B, and I was like, I don't know, that's almost C, and then they won class B by like 14 laps.
Get out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that I saw that car at Road Atlanta like 4 years ago after he'd sold it, and it had all the gay for Jabay stickers on it. I'm sure you've seen those. It's spelled as his last name with an extra A. But yeah, I haven't seen the car in several years, but it's still out there somewhere. And Adam is just A+ guy. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. Thanks. No, this is good. I we like hearing real stories about people. That's great. Speaking of, the other well done profile of is our buddy and former guest Tracey Gaudu and her now famous championship winning Z06 that she bought new at the dealer and not knowing how to drive stick shift. The profile is a video and worth a watch. She recounts her tales of rising through the ranks in autocross to time trials and then wheel to wheel. We had Tracey back on in January, episode 228. And she's a dynamic person worth following on the socials. And if you meet her in person, she's a boundlessly positive person with a deep passion for racing. She is fabulous.
Yeah, we met her at SEMA, right? We talked to her at the SEMA.
PRI.
Oh, it was PR.
And actually, she was here for SEMA. We just couldn't. We couldn't get her.
I don't understand how you couldn't find somebody with
80
actually
gazillion
8 million people in one place. So
Yeah.
that's a thing.
I figured, Tracey had a posse. I was going around looking at all the nerdy stuff. I did get a new welder while I was there because I mentioned my Lincoln gave up the ghost. I went to the Lincoln booth and they sold me one of their display models. So yeah.
Really? Did you wheel it out of SEMA?
I did.
Why did we not start with this story? What?
So I'm a hobby welder. I just had my old Lincoln 110 electric, but that thing has built 3.5 race cars and it's served lots of purposes. It's been a great Lincoln welder. It lasted me 19 years. And I know Miller people and I talk to Miller people and I understand that, but I was very pleased with my Lincoln. The guy showed me the evolution of that model and then showed me another one that can upgrade to 220. So I've got the 2 plugs and it can do stainless, aluminum, and just regular steel. And it comes with an easy button because you just set the metal thickness and it automatically adjusts.
That's nice.
I can't complain. The price was fantastic. And then they offered me the one, it was a floor model, but all they did was take it out of the box and plug it in for SEMA. And the discount was substantial. And I'm getting an auto darkening Lincoln welding helmet that's, several $100s that they're going to drop ship me. So I showed up and I had to get it. And the box was just too big for me to comfortably handle. So I'm just trying all these different ways and I'm stopping and it's way at the South Hall. And I'm parked like 2 blocks away from the convention center on the other end of the convention center. And as I walk out of one of the areas, they've got these shopping carts that SEMA has like for moving stuff around. And I look at one, it's just full of trash. So I just kind of put the welder in that and I pushed it. And then when I got to the edge of SEMA, I expected a security person to stop me.
Because you look like a homeless person.
No.
and they didn't. So I just pushed it all the way like 2 blocks down the road to the condos that I parked in front of.
Sometimes you see homeless people, they have their whole house. You are just a homeless person with a welder. That's okay.
Right. And so all of the grocery stores here, and I think you see them in a lot of places, they actually have one wheel on every one of their grocery carts is GPS bound.
Yes.
Store. If it goes, because even the parking lot at my local Smith's, if I go too far, it just locks up.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one,
that's how you know you live in the hood, by the way.
Rigged.
So some hopefully some urban explorer is now vastly more mobile because I left this thing 2 blocks away from the Las Vegas Convention Center, unless they're watching this episode, in which case I totally didn't do that. And we need our press passes for next year. Thank you.
The trick that I learned when I worked in an office job many years ago is to, no matter what's happening, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, especially when you're screwing around or doing something you're not supposed to do, is to make it look like you are going somewhere with purpose. And nobody will ever stop you. That's pretty much it.
Just always carry a folder when you're working for the government.
Yes.
Walk someplace with a folder. No one wants to talk to you because there's no good news in a folder.
Or even if you don't have a folder, you have a printed sheet of paper. Doesn't matter what it says.
And a pen.
And somebody oncoming, you don't make eye contact. You look at the paper and you furrow your brow at it and you look up and down one more time. Boom.
It's the worst TPS report ever.
Yep. That's it.
So if you're pushing a cart with a welder with purpose, no one will, that's what you're getting at here.
Yeah.
I did clean the trash out of it. I at least pulled because someone was using it as like a dumpster. So I put all the trash into a trash can before I put my brand new clean welder in.
You're being a good citizen.
That's great.
What's happening here.
That's great. Yeah. I'll mention, hey, Eric, what's that say on your shirt there? Does that say BBS?
BBS, yeah.
Is that like the wheel or like the internet thing?
This is a Brooklyn Bomb Squad team shirt. I was
There you go.
Nice.
There you
That's,
go.
Those guys,
that's
that Mark
good.
GTI that is just so terrible.
It's awesome.
So
It-
some of us probably remember the BBS wheel maker, right? It's like it's the
Basket
basket
weaves,
weave,
yeah.
right? Everybody's got
Yeah,
BBS basket weaves.
absolutely.
Ever the Volkswagen people, Chrissy
And if
knows
you
them all.
right, if you didn't, then you wanted them. So
That's right.
there's that.
Chris Rosales covers the new development for the company over at The Drive. Shopping for an aftermarket wheel is always a challenge because you have to match the bolt pattern and the hub-centric and back spacing and all that stuff. But BBS has perfected a new system that might reimagine wheel fitment as we know it. BBS's new technology called BBS Unlimited makes the lug pattern and the offset fully configurable for the same set of wheels. So basically they make a base wheel with a certain diameter and a width and a lug pattern of 5 by 117.5, and then the wheel is fitted to the car with an adapter and a spacer that defines the offset and the bolt pattern. Basically, BBS has made a universal wheel by making a wheel and then a hub-centric wheel spacer. The company was recently rescued from bankruptcy, so this innovation hopefully will save the company so we can all get our basket weaves.
I mean, the timing of your shirt in this article seems really. No, I mean,
Sus.
I know.
It's a little
no,
sus.
it's sus. No, I'm impressed.
Hey, I can read the notes now. I put on my glasses.
Also, yeah. I wonder, is there anybody else that runs BBSs other than Volkswagens?
BMWs.
BMWs.
Yeah,
and,
Yeah.
Oh, and all of your Radwood crew. And I
Sure.
remember,
Show cars.
I would say Nissans in the 80s and 90s wanted to, but we could never afford them. So it was always
Yeah.
inky knockoffs of BBS basket weaves.
Yeah.
I had BBS style BMW wheels. They were made by BBS, but they weren't BBS aftermarket basket weaves. On my red E30 that I took on the Babe Rally.
All right.
Nice.
Well, good. They need more than a market.
They
of
were
just-
worth more than the car when I sold it.
Yes.
Good.
I'm not surprised.
Now, after literally decades of having the aftermarket do this for them, Porsche has released an off-road 911. David Tracey over at the Autopian tells us about the factory-built 911 Dakar branded Safari model. Is it any good? Well, David Tracey's a notorious Jeep enthusiast, and he is honest about both the approach and departure angles of the car, the ground clearance, and the suspension articulation. So, but as he adds and concedes that an off-roadish vehicle doesn't have to be amazing off-road. It just has to meet expectations. So if their marketing department does a good job, but a link to the press photos and the article, which are really pretty cool, is in our show notes.
They were cool, but I was a little disappointed no Safari livery on it. Like it was just a black
Yet.
car in the desert.
Well, they needed the contrast, man, for that.
I guess.
Those dope photos.
Paint that sucker.
Oh, that's, yeah. I mean, anybody that's going to order a factory Dakar car, and if they order it in a plain color, they don't deserve that car. You have to order that in something obnoxious.
There we go. So, hey, you already know that we love the Racing Junk because it's a great place to find cars, parts, events, or just joy scroll through all the things that are up for sale. Of course, it's always free. We're road racers, but we've shown you pit vehicles, haulers, trailers, IMSA prototypes, twin engine tanks, and everything else. As somebody in my house is printing behind me, I apologize for that sound. Oh, God. How about some love for our gearheads who live a quarter mile at a time? Think we know why Mental picked this. It's a 1977 Oldsmobile Omega roller, which means it's a car with no engine, already set up for the strip. No engine, no trans, easy fix, all steel, lightweight Lexan windows, a Caltrax suspension, and it's creamy and beige. It's like as close as you can get to Bailey's without getting your eyes wet. That's right. Cage's already in it. Headers, transmission mount,
Well, it
drive
says
shaft.
rollers, but there's an engine.
No,
I
not
think
in this.
they just showed.
They
just
showed
what was in
it, but it's not
he had
actually for sale,
It was a
yeah.
377, 350 bored out to, and then he had a turbo 350 behind it. So
Yeah,
So
look,
it's a-
just go out, find yourself an LS, drop it in this puppy,
Don't even
and
do
you're
that.
running
Literally,
down the
just-
strip all the time.
just get a friggin' 4-barrel on a small block out of a old 70s truck out of the pick and pull, man.
Yeah, they're a little hard to find these days. A little easier to find old 5.3 out of a
Camaro.
Silverado.
Fair. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Dang old Camaro. Just grab it. Let's throw it in there. Anyway, it's in Rome, New York, but it's
There you go.
straight rust free, like Southwest rust free, it says. Only $6,000 on Racing Junk. Link in the show notes
I've got a
along with all the
question.
rest of our news stories. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Could you build that in a day?
I would argue you
Ro-
could.
Rome, New
I
York.
think-
It's a joke.
I
It's
think-
fine. We just carry
Oh,
on.
get it? No, yes. right, yeah, no.
Day. Jesus
Man,
Christ.
We all just sat here and looked and was like, my question was, well, who are you talking about? Who's doing the building? Because I think
I was gonna say,
Right. That's a
raise
good
your
one.
hand if your parents drug you to church a lot when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We know it.
Good joke, bad audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right. Sorry.
I'm like, build. Let's see here. We could get a car. We could pull the
Right?
motor before lunch. We can.
literally what I was
Well, like literally Corey is driving in his truck and he's like, I could totally build that thing in a day.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, totally.
With
yeah.
stuff on my back porch right now.
Upcoming races. Any upcoming races?
Nope, there aren't any.
No.
Not till next month.
Uh,
That's okay. Whatever.
everybody's taking a break for Thanksgiving, I guess.
Yes. Or it's November and it's getting cold and snowing in the west coast. There's that.
Well, but you've got 2 more Lemons races coming up and a couple other different events. Yeah.
I mean, there's some coming, just for some
Just
reason, not in the next
for a couple weeks.
week or
Yeah.
two. Okay.
All right. Race report.
Race report. Let's go over what happened at MSR Houston. Eric, were you there?
I was not.
No, you weren't. That's good because you're somewhere else. That's fun.
I was- yeah.
So I'm only looking at the list. If you know anything about it, stop me. Class C Whack-A-Mole Honda Accord. Class
Yep.
B was taken by Lapdogs and a Nissan Maxima.
I remember those guys from
Nissan
Gnarls a couple
Maxima
years
in
ago.
B?
And if I'm not mistaken, they always run for a local dog rescue charity, which is
Yep.
why the car is done up like a dog. And they're very good at bribing their way into B because they always have this pathetic rescue dog that comes over
Oh.
and looks at you like really, really sad.
That
Yep.
is true. The Class C winner should point out it's an 87 Accord with the A20 with the carburetor on it still, which is
Wow.
In Parts for that. Wow.
in theory makes 100 horsepower, but there is no way it makes anything close to that in reality.
Nope. Nice.
Okay. Overall, went to Party Girl in a Mercedes SLK.
Oh, look
I'm
out,
gonna-
Darren. Somebody else running
Uh-oh.
one.
Oh no,
You know what?
they've won before.
I mistyped that. I think
Oh, okay.
it's not
Oh.
an SLK. It's a C class.
It's the 4-door. It's a sedan. It's the
Oh,
early-
that's even more
It's-
fun.
Oh, never mind, Darren.
It's
it's
the
a
same
turbo-
motor.
Yeah, it's a turbo. They swapped out the supercharger for turbocharger. Great crew.
Yep.
Do you know, or did you get a picture of the painting? Did they make a painting this?
There was no painting, and they got penalty laps because they didn't bring a painting. So.
But they still won anyway. So
That's
apparently
terrible.
they're fast enough.
Drive so good for a long time. When you stop driving, you're going to get penalty laps.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
pretty
a
much,
thing.
yep.
I still
Yeah.
cherish my Party Girl painting. Vicky banished it from the wall behind me, but the revenge is it's in our bedroom now.
That's not
terrible.
weird at all.
Nope.
Lemon Rick
Strange.
staring down at you.
Oh, all right. Winner of IOE is Lowball in the AMC Grenlin.
That car rules. It is a straight 6. I think it's a 4-speed. They
Wow.
finished 5th overall in it.
Don't they
Is that
normally
the
drive it?
Wow.
They drive it to the track too, don't they?
They have driven some of their AMCs at track. This is their
Okay.
4th AMC they've built.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're-
okay. This isn't the Levi's edition that started with Speedy Cop and has been all over the place.
No, different.
No,
car.
this is like these are AMC, hardcore AMC, because they've got a Spirit and they've got this one, and they're both quick and
Yeah.
clean, and it's a great team.
Yeah.
Great team.
Love those guys.
Heroic Fix went to Shake and Bake in Infinity G35.
I don't know anything about it. I think they blew
Okay.
a hole in the engine block and then swapped in another one.
Oh, sounds par for
I
the
feel
course.
like a G35 is not a hard car to find for about $8 in Houston, but I might be wrong.
Maybe that was the problem, or maybe they
Dude,
did it a
that's a
couple
low
times.
buck 350Z,
Dude.
yo.
Dude,
It is. Dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
I got screwed, went to Orca. Cadillac
Uh,
CTS.
Isn't that the one that burned to the ground?
Yeah.
In New Orleans,
They-
they built
they've-
another one.
They found another one, and I don't know if they were using the original motor, if they put the 4.3 back in it from a truck, but it just didn't run right. So, yeah. There's God. What do they have? They bought something else. It's some car we're dying to see, and like the one guy was gung ho to build it after the Orca burned, and the team was obviously not enthused about whatever it was. So- it was a Dodge Caliber SRT4.
Oh.
Everybody else on the team was like, no, we don't want.
So he's taken the challenge that you threw down, the Blagovic
They have
challenge.
the car. Yeah, I think they paid $800 for it. So I'm sure it's in great.
It's wonderful. I'm sure it's in great
beautiful.
shape.
Anyway, a new CTS instead.
Yokohama Road Mangler Cup went to Swish Racing in a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yep.
Yep. And the Halloween Mies Gasoline went to was Escape Velocity, a Demolition Man theme.
Yep.
Now, Eric,
I do have the rest. Give me a second.
Okay.
Well, and while he's looking that
Uh,
up, because Escape Velocity, they've had that Dodge Dart for a while, but they're usually really good themers, and I always like when they've got some great stuff that they show up in the vest, and they'll dress up like actual NASA folks, and
Well, one of them is
a
an actual
NASA. Yeah, that's
engineer.
true.
Oh, Jesus.
Organizer's choice was Black Flag Society Volume 2. This was a Saturn that almost won a race years ago. The guy who built the car sold it to some new people, showed up and ran it with them, and they were like second overall for a while. And
Ooh.
finishing
Wow.
like seventh, I think.
And a Saturn, huh?
In a Saturn SC2. Judge's choice was Aggie Lemons, which was Texas A&M kids with a Mustang. Guess what car number it was? College kids.
69.
Yep, there you go.
420.
69.
69,
One or
420.
the other.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And then the
Yep,
regional
yep.
trophy was Keep Austin Nice. And went to Scubaroo, which was a Subaru with scuba tanks on the roof rack. Which
I do not know if you have this answer, but seeing you look at your phone reminded me. Did Monty bring the Monty?
I don't.
So we
think
convinced Monty last year, and
to
he
leave the Mirage. Yeah.
to finally get rid of that horrible Mirage, and he bought a Monte Carlo in Atlanta and drove it back and was updating us during that trip. I didn't know if they'd gotten it ready in time.
No,
I believe it's a Dale Jr. edition one too.
Actual Dale
Well,
Jr. edition.
I feel like Monty takes his time wrenching on things. Let's leave it at that.
That's fine. Only the judge can tell me. Jugga Lexuses and Jugga Lambos are getting really hard to find. Can we
Yeah.
make a suggestion that the G35 be the new Jugga Lexus?
Man, Infinity is just like it's the man. I don't even know how to describe that. Infinity wanted to be Lex in the worst way, and therefore can't be the Jugga anything.
Got it.
Because
Got
Pontiac was never pretending to be Lexus.
What's the winger equivalent to ICP? The winger
No,
versus
yeah.
like,
Oh, that's a good
Calica.
idea.
and then if you so you could call them the
Warrant.
whatever
It's Warrant.
Lexus. The warrant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's the so yeah, Infinity is the warrant Lex. Yeah. What?
It's like Striper the metal band. It's kind of like
I feel like we got to pull it from the 2000s. Who had the most crazy fan base from the 2000s? Creed, the Creedite. Never mind. Let's keep moving
No.
on.
yeah.
This is so deep.
Oh, listener feedback time. Here's the
Well,
listener feedback. Hey,
we found
Jeff, stop talking about Juggas and confusing the whole show. Nobody cares. There you go.
But read your first listener
I will.
feedback.
Al Jones. Al Jones on the YouTube says he laughed at Jeff's clown jokes Eric, did any of my clown jokes make you laugh?
Yeah, but I was in character, so I couldn't.
So he laughed and he says, now I feel like I have to take a shower. And then he said, why don't sharks attack clowns? Because they taste funny, of course.
Yeah, no, you definitely gave me that one.
I didn't hear that one.
No,
'cause I was in the
said-
car at the time.
I said two cannibals are sitting around a campfire eating a clown, and one says to the other, does this taste funny?
Yeah.
That's better.
Variation
Sure.
of Al Jones, awesome dude from Pittsburgh, will have an opinion on the Infinity thing, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right,
we'll
so,
have to
Al,
ask.
what we need to know, because we were saying Stryper, but Stryper was like a metal band. I need to know
Yeah.
like the winger equivalent of a rap duo that just like to be offensive. You know,
Mm.
I honestly like right out of the gate, I want to say Kid Rock, but
No. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's the above ground pool of cars. So, yeah, I think that works.
I think that's what it is. It's the
Oh.
above ground pool of cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're still on listener feedback. I
Go
forgot. Mental posted from the F1 Vegas preview. Matt F from PA suggested that since Mental isn't going to sell his house for tickets, he should turn this house into an Airbnb. And I said we were all going to stay there, except then we decided not to go to buy tickets.
Yes.
Sadly.
so I'm still anticipating a house full. The Sorry for Party crew is either going to rent the Airbnb next door or they're going to invade. And the plan is I think they're going to go down to the festivities and then watch the race inside the house on TV.
There's nothing wrong
Oh,
with
I mean,
that.
yeah, no, I think that sounds great idea.
You could probably like scalp like Thursday, Friday tickets, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just not go to the race because people are going to not use them.
I'm holding out hope because all of the tickets that were for sale were not on the Las Vegas Boulevard. So some hotels might be offering some fan experiences, and I'm willing to pay. But if I'm going to pay, the price of a used Honda, and I'm not going to see the cars on the Las Vegas Strip, then why am I going to that race?
Hmm.
On that note, DJ 914 chimed in to remind us that quote F1 sucks, and for more than overpriced tickets, but it did add that the experience sounded awesome, and he was a little soured by their F1 ticket debacle, which was a true debacle. Not just me, everyone that I was talking to in the Formula One experience line, all the same problems. They were like trying to buy F1 tickets, and Ticketmaster screwed it up. I don't know why you would trust Ticketmaster with anything. So, and Eric also adds that they support nations with very poor human rights violations issues.
Great.
I
So
guess he's
now
talking
we-
about the Middle East and China, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we just can't enjoy our sport just because,
Well,
Another one.
of all of us, that's going to be the most social justice warrior, Jeff.
I know it's me. Now I'm going to have it. I'm like Seb. I got a bad taste in my mouth and I just want to go pick up the trash.
I just want to help people. I posted results from the mother's race road remover. Like I said, cleaning off Jeff's crash marks on the Mazda 3, and David Eckel and Dave Carpenter reported to the paddock, with Dave E saying that he needed to clean all his dang old Camaro. And Dave Carpenter said, fun fact, that this race rubber remover will clean anything, including the tractor supply paint, right off of your 80s Toyota race car. Worth it.
Yep.
And your car's clean.
You know who never damages the paint on your 80s Toyota race car?
That's true. My mother.
Chrissy's mom.
Yeah.
Eric, did you get any of her cookies when they were in New Hampshire?
Did, yes.
I hope so. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
there
was
were
going to
plenty
say,
of
we
them.
threw them around.
We didn't
Nobody's
throw them
business.
around. I put them
You
on
know
a
what I
plate
mean.
and handed them to
Gave
people.
them away
Right?
to a wide, vast,
Something like that.
yeah, something like that.
All right, it's time.
Usually we have a really long intro. Eric's here to talk about the 23 schedule. That's
Or
about
whatever
it.
what Eric
Yeah.
wants to talk about. He can talk about other
That's
things.
true.
too.
I mean-
Before we get there, because he's been on the rally for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you said it's awesome, and you're there with Jeff, and Jeff is awesome. If you've never done a Lemons rally, Jeff alone is worth the expense of going and doing a Lemons rally, because that guy is just always cool. But you put you two guys together, and it just gets the sum is greater than the whole of its parts. So how's that going? Tell us what you loved and what's kind of lame.
Yeah. Well, The only thing that's kind of lame is that the car counts, it's a little lower than we usually like. We have 19, I think.
It's
paid.
a hardcore long week rally in the middle of a work
exactly
week.
it. Yeah, this is a 5-day rally that basically is a week when you add in transit to and from the start and the finish, and because you finish 1,500 miles from where you start.
Oh,
So this one's a lot more.
Yeah, it's not a
hardcore
loop.
than most. We ended up with. It's not, but it's in the middle of the country, so we figured you can kind of get to and from the start. But anyway, it's smaller than what we've had in the past this year, but it's a really good crowd, like really awesome. There's nobody on this rally that sucks. Not that there usually is, but you know, usually there's like one or two people who just peace out after like half a day. We don't have any of that. Punch Raff is there with the minivan, which is a mini inside of an Astro van. It looks ridiculous. They're great. They're leading. Jim Forbes is on like his 8th rally. He's got a 59 Rambler.
Everyone loves Jim. But I saw the Punch Giraffe. They painted it up like a Mardi Gras float, and they've already had issues with it bottoming out again.
Yeah, they've ripped the bumper off, which is a constant problem for it. Their brakes blew up. Boy, what else is there? There's the Save the Tatas guys who have won a bunch of Lemons races with Camaro. They're here with a 63 Cadillac Fleetwood that they borrowed from a friend. They got lost. Now, I don't know what you know about Great River Road, but it is one road.
Yeah, it kind of goes right along the river.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really
the Great River.
Yeah,
No,
yes,
right down the Mighty Miss.
So we have a GPS app we're using for this called Wayfair that we're testing out, and we can kind of see where people are if they signed up. And you know, it's like, and you see the tracks for the day. You know, it's like everybody kind of following this, and then like they're like 70 miles off. In
no! And there's no like, were they going for a checkpoint they thought was somewhere else?
Well, their brakes were bad, so they're like, well, we'll go to this Napa, and like, surely this Napa is just a couple miles into Louisiana. They just keep going.
I'm sorry, do they not have a smartphone? Because smartphones tell you how far things are.
Yeah, well, they made it to the dinner meetup, which is at this, you know, fantastically divey seafood place in Vicksburg.
Fantastically divey.
Yeah, and the guy who drove pretty much the whole day was like, is there a way I can trade teammates?
Oh my gosh! Get it out.
We have all been there on the rallies.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
they made it like 3 hours into the rally till they were lost. It was great. And then they got lost again today. So it's a thing for them, apparently. And then one of the checkpoints we had last night was this, you know, haunted church way out in the boonies. Like you have to cross like this wooden bridge to get there, and it's super sketchball. But one of the teams was like, oh, here's the shortcut to the last checkpoint, so we'll take that. And it turns out it was on property of Alcorn State University, and like the end of it was gated, and the road they had entered was gated. But somehow between when they entered that section,
it got closed.
The security guard came out and closed them in.
Wow.
So they were stuck on this road in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, until they could get enough cell reception to call the security for the university to let them out.
That's pretty funny. You know, the Duke boys, they knew how to get out of those situations. They just drove
when
right
you have
a
2001 Chevy Tracker is a little harder to jump.
You're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get the air on that one. No,
you're not gonna get the air.
No.
There was two cars that were stuck there. It was an 88 AMC Eagle and a Chevy Tracker. They are siblings, all in that team, and their parents came out with a minivan, and they have this huge like IKEA shelf set up in it full of snacks, so they'll pull over at the checkpoints and be handing out snacks.
I love them.
That's great.
It's like they're the rally parents. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is good. I mean, everything's good. There's Kelly Ott is towing half of a CRX that he made into a trailer like in the 90s.
Oh,
not sketchy at all.
That's awesome. There is a 2011 Caprice, the cop cars, the
Square one, yeah.
the Holden, they're Holdens.
2011, you said.
Right. Yeah. And the guys, they're from New Orleans or Louisiana somewhere. There was some local place that had like this big, like 60s sedan DeVille that had been made into a chicken to promote their fried chicken business. They bought the chicken from it and put it onto the Caprice and then painted the Caprice with feathers and talons. And it's
I
the
saw
greatest thing that's
that.
ever been on
I thought
I'm
thought
going to
they- I
Instagram
thought
right
they-
now to see this.
I thought they stopped and took a picture. I did not realize that was
No,
their actual
that
car.
is their car.
So wait,
That
they
is
did this while they were on the
incredible.
rally, or they
No,
did this
did it a
before they got
couple
the
years
rally?
ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and it's just a car they've had for a while, and I guess they drive around. I think it's Lemon's Chicken Car is the Instagram.
Lemons.
handle.
This is so original. Lemon's chicken.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, yeah, they're great. They raced Lemons a couple times at NOLA with a Camaro, but this is leaps and bounds ahead of that. So yeah, those are all great things. And yeah, pretty much every car is awesome in a similar way. It's really spectacular.
So so you don't get the car count with these week long middle of the country rallies, but I it sounds like you certainly get quality.
Yeah, we get the hardcore people. It's mostly people who've done this before. And I think the only team that hasn't, they're like two 23-year-old-ish kids from Virginia that drove out in an 86 LeSabre. And it is without doubt the hooptiest car I've ever seen.
It's pretty,
rally.
it's, I'm trying to find that chicken photo, but I see it. It's a
Purple. Yeah.
purple and blue and black. It's the what do you call it? The
I found that. I'm about to share it.
So,
yeah.
the Harley
the
Quinn.
I'm waiting for
Harlequin.
it to.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, this chicken car! I did not realize. So Jeff, when you're done sharing that one, we're going to share the chicken car because these people are heroes.
Also, that's crazy that they drove from Virginia to, like, people that drive a far way to get to the start to keep driving on a rally is crazy. Oh my
yes.
goodness gracious
It's-
and a half.
Is that not?
Yeah.
It's done
I thought
so
they,
well.
I
It's
thought someone
huge.
stopped to take this picture next to
Nope.
a business. Oh my God, that is
Oh, I'm sorry. This is bad
marvelous.
pod, but you have to go look this up.
so.
this is
follow
not
the
like a
hashtag
little
Lemons
chicken.
Rally. And what's this team?
It's the team is called Disinformation, but the car, I think their Instagram handle is Lemon's Chicken Car with no spaces or underscore
Okay.
or
Lemon's
anything.
chicken.
Yeah, I
Uh,
couldn't
they-
find that. That's why I found this.
Written
All right,
on
here.
the dashboard. is-
Enable sharing, and I'll find out what the team name is, Jeff.
Written on the
It is.
dashboard
Lemon's
is the
Chicken Car.
overhead clearance, which is 9'6", which tells you
So-
everything. You need.
Basically only where trucks go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah. This is huge.
The
There's-
horn.
here
the
they
horn
are.
is a chicken.
Of
So they
course
spread
it
up
is.
And they mash the horn, and the eyes light up when it does.
Oh, like if you're envisioning
Oh my god.
somebody who just like welded something and sort of did something,
No.
you're
No.
wrong. This is a work
Yeah.
of freaking art.
This is
Wow.
this is
Like
a
this is
SEMA car.
airbrushed feathers.
It might be a
and
SEMA
everything.
car.
This is this is a fantastic,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
car.
Anybody out there
Wow.
who's like fresh off of SEMA and you're like, you know what? We didn't get enough traffic in our booth. We need a
Yeah.
better car
We need a
next year.
chicken car.
Contact Lemon's Chicken Car on Instagram.
Yeah, because
This in your booth gets everybody.
it'll do
Wow.
burnouts. So
Yeah.
you put it in the Hoonigans booth and it just sits there. So now
It
it's
just
the
has to
smoking
sit
chicken.
there. I would pose next to it. I mean, not like taking. I would like
Oh,
take
yeah,
a
no,
picture
totally.
next
like
to it.
selfie, like
Yeah.
selfie with it.
Yeah, that's with chicken car. Oh,
And
that's
this
so
is,
cool.
We're doing a terrible job of potting this, but I also, as Eric mentioned, the team, the siblings there. So their parents are following along in a Dodge minivan, and they have labeled it Grammy and Pop's Snack Shop. And
Oh,
Grammy
and
even has her
Grammy's
name.
name is on her window.
It's on the window. Yeah.
Oh,
Grammy, I've never met you, but I love you.
right?
Yeah, they're spectacular. Yeah.
Instagram, what about Pops?
Right, that
Great.
is
This is
great.
awesome.
Oh, this is
Marvelous.
only a couple people and they sound amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. You might not have the car counts, but you have some fantastic people on that rally.
Yeah, everybody's super dedicated. Joe Spires is there. He had
Another great
big-
Lemons legend.
yeah, and he's got a grand marquee, and yeah, he's dressed up like the dude from Stranger Things. It's great. He's committed to this whole bit. It's really awesome. So everybody's having a great time, and this rally. I mean, we've been in Mississippi for like a day and a half, basically. Just got to
'Cause you-
Memphis, but
Because you can do that.
It's about a
you
day and a
can do
half.
that.
You're going
longer
the
than you
long
wanna
way.
be.
Yeah, going the long way. That's the worst.
yeah, but it's cool. I like Mississippi. It's beautiful. It reminds me of where I grew up, but like with actual interesting history with the blues and all that stuff. So
Oh, that's right. You're a music
You-
nerd and you're a guitarist.
You found the nice
You are,
parts of
yeah.
Mississippi.
And
We
you're
found
No.
the
homely.
we
nope, nope, they're not nice parts. It's just interesting.
Oh,
You
okay,
know,
okay.
You understand that, it's a Mississippi.
Yeah. It's old Mississippi.
It's a rough part of the country, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's cool.
Well, awesome. Are there any other questions about the rally? Because I was going to change the topic.
Schedule. You guys want to talk about schedule?
No, we're going to talk about another thing.
No.
We're going to get to the schedule, but I have.
If you're in the Twin Cities, real quick, yeah. If you're in the Twin Cities on Saturday, come to the Minnesota Transportation Museum. We're going to end the rally and do awards in a big railroad roundhouse. And as huge transportation dorks, we're
No,
gonna do
that's
that.
kind of cool. I went to the Pennsylvania
Come meet us in the Twin Cities
Train
on
Museum, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
and just because we talked about it, if you're in the Quad Cities, what's the hangout for that one?
well, as it so happens, I actually have the route book right here.
He's got some.
Hey, let me
gonna
check
look-
my notes here.
Right, he's gonna look sternly at this piece of paper that he's.
Oh God, I feel like I don't want to talk to him now.
Yeah,
I
he
just
looks
gotta move.
busy
I
again.
don't want to ask him where he's going at all.
Yeah.
Shopping cart and a welder.
That's Friday, and it's Happy Joe's Ice Cream in LeClaire, Iowa.
That sounds
There you go.
amazing.
Who doesn't want an ice cream cone in LeClaire, Iowa?
That's right. Yeah.
So meet up, see some cool cars.
Including the chicken car.
Chicken
Toads.
car. Chicken car. will be
So,
there.
Eric, we've noticed because as soon as you said, hey, there's a new schedule out, I went to the website because, how often do I go to the website? And I'm like, bam, new website design.
Right?
Looks fantastic. There's no way possible that you idiots actually did this. Did you
No,
did you, like,
I will take
outsource
all
this?
of the credit for it. I did everything. I did literally all of it. No, we hired people who know what the hell they're doing. It's definitely not us. So
Yeah, you guys write dick jokes for the internet. I mean, that's not really.
pretty much it. Yeah, this is one 16-year fart joke that is pretty much rolled on and on. It's been lingering in a way that you can't get rid of. I say this having been on a road trip with two other guys, so it's fresh in my mind. But yeah, no, we hired a creative agency to do the artwork and the new logo, and then
Made Corey
new
Dickman
web
an internet
version to
sensation.
That's
Right?
true.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
going to be his Christmas card this year.
Oh my
It
gosh.
better be. So
Yeah,
you're like
so
the
for that little piece was really interesting because it was right around the time we were like, well, we need new images for the website, and we were just about to have the Sonoma race, and we sent out an email to anybody who was registered for that race and said, bring your work clothes, whatever that means to you, and your racing suit, and we got a photographer who's going to shoot portraits, and they turned out amazing, and Corey's is one of the best of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course, great.
we're gonna use that.
No surprise, but they look professional. That's what's funny about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
that it,
and
it
then his
shouldn't
ass
be,
crack is hanging out. That's what's funny
Yeah,
about it.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so I've paid high dollar
but
to have good expensive equipment and perfect lighting in Corey's ass crack.
Like I said, it's dick and fart jokes. 16 years of it,
It's
we're
true.
committed
It's
to.
true.
They're going to
So-
be good dick and fart jokes.
It's true. So my question is, so you're the only one who knows how to use a computer, as far as I could tell. Like those guys are like writers; they can word process like nobody's business. But so did you have to actually sit down with a bunch of suits and explain what Lemons was?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't have a lot to do with it. It
Okay,
was
so-
mostly Jay explaining to a creative agency. I don't
All
know.
right, so-
I don't know if they're technically marketing people.
Whatever. You weren't in
yeah,
on that meeting.
And the guy who did it, his name's Eric Rindle. He's a really interesting guy. He plays steel guitar in like a tiki bar band or something out in San Francisco.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
He's into
Wow.
weird stuff, and kind of it was kind of like, oh yeah, this guy kind of gets where we're coming from in some roundabout way. So
That's great.
yeah, but I mean, there's always going to be some manner of explanation about what we are, and
Well, I think they did a great
what
job. I
you
think y'all
guys
did a
are,
great job.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about
I'll take all
schedule.
the credit.
It's
All
right.
right. Where do you want
what-
to start? I mean, it's mostly the same, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of all the great favorites here. Barber, Sonoma, Nola, Ridge, Pitt. I mean,
Yeah. The only changes are we moved ORP to a earlier Ridge date in April, or maybe it's March. In spring, which is our first time we're doing spring race in the Pacific Northwest. So pretty excited to see how that turns out.
yeah,
Rainy.
because it
I'm gonna go
never
with- I'm gonna
rains.
go with rainy. It's
In
gonna
the
Yep.
spring in the
Might
Northwest.
be a little
It's
cold,
good,
too.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Our opinion is that everybody there is used to it on some level and can deal.
Or at least if you're
maybe
going there,
they're
that you
not.
you recognize that that's how it's going to be.
It's valid.
Yeah.
That is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not you texted me about this. I'm really excited because Hallett finally built
Yeah,
a
Hallett's
tunnel.
Yeah.
Because Hallett built a tunnel, now they don't have to red flag the races to allow
Right.
people to cross.
Yep.
So finally, Lemons is coming to Hallett. All my Okie buddies are actually really excited. They're actually trying to get the car together for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Obviously, Tulsa has a big part in my life, and this track's 40 minutes from Tulsa. Turns out, Amanda's best friend who spoke at our wedding, his neighbor, was the woman whose name escapes me, who owns and runs Hallett. Like
Connie.
He's on a
Connie.
Yeah, Connie was his neighbor, as it turns out, in this bizarre small world kind of thing.
Wow.
So that was funny. He was, because I mentioned to him that we were talking about this. Like, oh, I'll just talk to Connie. She's Connie. She lives next door. So
No problem.
Go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walk next door, knock
yeah.
on the
Well,
door, like,
But
can I borrow a cup of sugar and have a race at your track?
I've told this story a dozen times. The thing about, so Connie owns the racetrack, has forevers. It was and there's a great history of that track. She didn't have an office. She had a desk in the cafe or in the snack bar. So to go get a hamburger, you had to walk past Connie's desk. That's just, she's just low key,
Yeah.
Yeah. If she met you, she remembers you forever. She's just
That's
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah.
they were. I mean, Kim did all the actual work on this, but
You could take credit for it just like you did for the website. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. It was all me. They were very eager for us to come, and once they
Good.
put in that tunnel, that was like, they contacted us, they offered us a date. It was not the kind of date you want in Oklahoma, and we said, no, we can't.
Speaking of bad
Tornadoes.
places to be in the spring.
Tornadoes. Yeah.
Not the spring, because we're there in May. It was like, yeah, how's your August looking? It was like,
No.
I've been in Oklahoma in August. I know that everybody's suffocating out of humidity, but they said basically, what date do you want, and we'll make it work for you.
Wow.
No track has ever said
great.
that to us.
That's
so-
amazing.
If you haven't run Hallett, it's if you're I know
Mental, do you like this track?
Yeah. Mental
Yes.
talks about Hallett like all the damn time.
it's a great family run track. It's technical, it's challenging, it's a really enjoyable track, but also this has been a challenge for Lemons, is trying to find Midwest tracks, just places right there. And
honestly, what we're hoping this track does is it draws a North Texas audience, because Dallas Fort Worth, it's like 4 hours and change, which we know is a reasonable tow for most people, and it's as close as we can get to Dallas right now, because we like you. The basic idea of the business is you need to be near major population centers to pull a car count big enough that makes financial sense for
In
the
theory,
business.
yeah.
and in this case, just being, I mean, Dallas is like the 5th largest metro in the country.
Oh, and
something
a
like
lot of
that.
those, Dallas teams are perfectly comfortable going all the way to Colorado, so
Correct.
they've got to be happy.
Yeah,
Looking
yeah.
at you, Dallas Makerspace, and
Yeah. And
also
Tarp
the
and
Tarp and the 350Z guys and all those. Yeah,
so we're pretty excited about it, and I just like that area. North of Tulsa is kind of where the Osage starts, and it's this kind of
It
pretty
is-
rolling hills.
yeah.
and-
You don't expect it to be as pretty as it is
Yeah.
especially if you lived in Oklahoma. It's a gorgeous area.
So I'm
Yeah, I'll
excited
never
for that
forget.
one.
Back when Mental was living in Oklahoma, he said, "Jeff, you should come visit me in Oklahoma." And I was like, "What? What the hell would I want to go to Oklahoma for?" And do you remember what you said, Mental?
No,
Said
clue.
it's as big and as beautiful as Texas, but we understand that you're supposed to barbecue the pig, not the cow. And I said, "Sign me up. That sounds great."
Yeah.
Awesome. So we got one full 24 on the
Uh,
schedule, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. That's not 100% certain, but I think
No.
we just defaulted it to High Plains because they were really well equipped to run it, and
Good.
Glenn just makes things happen.
That's
which is one of the
great.
reasons we like him, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so there's no NIMBYs who are going to be whining about local ordinances. So
Got it. The website says it. It's the full 24. So
yeah,
it's a good leap.
Just a little inside baseball. We copy paste from the previous year, and then we start editing it.
Sure you do.
But it's a new website. How do you copy and paste on a new website?
Well,
That's the part
registration-
Eric's
the
in
back end of
charge
the
of.
registration is the same, but that's a longer story. And
Yeah.
not
It said
interesting.
on the schedule that New Hampshire Motorsports is not a
Still
done
pending?
deal, still pending or something.
Yeah, it may move a week.
Okay.
back,
All right, that's fine.
That
to
usually
be-
moves anywhere between those 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the two.
Yep.
They're working to give us the date that we have listed, but we may be stuck with the later date.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's right on Halloween, other than, my kid having to go out with Halloween. But he's at the age now where he's like, "Dad, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go have a party with
Yeah,
my
and
friends."
I don't think he's saying need you. He's don't
Uh-uh.
want you. Just
Yeah,
seriously,
pretty
old man,
much.
get away. Take your
He's-
clown jokes and go do your.
He still needs me to make his costume because he's a cosplayer who doesn't know how to make a costume. So I got to make it for him.
You can do that the week before.
You got to make the incremental.
As long as
handoff.
we're going to have
See
something
that right there?
at
That's his
New
costume.
Hampshire, as long as that's going to happen.
Well, we are starting to think a little bit more about the East Coast. And
Okay.
How we can.
That sounds great.
Well,
Do
yeah.
more.
I mean, that's the thing is Jay lives on the West Coast, just doesn't think about the East Coast. So
Yes.
thing that's
like
out
most
there.
people.
But
on the
why
West
would he?
Coast.
And Kim and I are like, yeah, the races are full on the East
Yes,
Coast. So we
yes,
probably
they
need to
are.
think about
Let's
that.
do
So
more. Yes.
we're thinking about it. If not in
Okay.
23, we're looking at places for 24.
Well, I'd say, and like I remember New Hampshire, like the staff loves lemons.
Yeah.
Although, is there new management at New Hampshire this year? Yes, there is,
Maybe.
isn't
Let's
there?
say
Yeah, you feel free
Say
not to
maybe.
comment and let me comment.
Well, I mean,
Stick in the
because
mud or
Eric's
something. I don't
name is
know.
Eric's name's already on this. Let him have his corporate out, man. Come on.
Look, here's the thing that I think a lot of people is very inside baseball is that the track management job as a career for the most part is something that turns over constantly.
Mhm.
Most
Yeah.
tracks, I think our average time working with a manager is 2, maybe 3 years.
Mhm.
And there's exceptions like Audubon, Mike Gritter's there. He's the guy, and Glenn
Mike Ritter is
Conser at
Mike Ritter
Plains.
is amazing.
Yeah, those are people who have been in those positions for over a decade, and people we know. But New Hampshire, Sonoma, other places. I mean, management just it changes,
Yeah.
and for the most part, they try really hard to carry over things, but sometimes stuff it's like any other management change. Some stuff just doesn't carry over in a way that is great for you guys as customers of ours and some of it's not great for us, and then some of it's like, holy crap, this person's actually answering a phone.
Loves us.
So
Yeah.
that can be amazing too. From our end, New Hampshire was okay. Their management seemed very responsive, which was good. And in the past, it's been so.
Well,
There's
they're
the
owned
inside
by the
baseball on it from us.
Yeah, they're owned by the
Correct.
corporate behemoth of Speedway Motors. So
Yeah, so there are two big NASCAR track ownership companies, and I think New Hampshire's owned by the same one as Sonoma.
correct. I'm on their
So there's-
website.
So there's like overarching then grand management stuff that factors into, and it's running a race series in and of itself is an extraordinarily strange business, and it's hard to explain to people what it is and how it works. And then to talk about tracks as yet another part of that is very specific and are on their own agenda, that's a whole other world that we only know as kind of end users for the most part.
Mhm.
So it's a weird business is really what it comes down to.
Well, I'm glad you're still working out and trying to get more on the East Coast. NCM is still on the list again this year because that just made a return.
Yep.
Current season, right?
No, we were there in 21.
Yeah.
So 21, 22, 23 will have been there.
Okay.
That place just their track manager just left to go work at Thunder Hill, and their new track manager hadn't been hired yet last time we were there, so we were in like a weird limbo with that. Also, they got hit by a tornado last winter, so
right.
their buildings were in construction while we were there, so we had some technical challenges there. That wrap up has not yet been filmed, but we do cover some of that.
We'll have to check that out.
Heroic Fix winner was our timing and scoring guy. So it was an interesting weekend.
That's awesome. No double weekends again.
Correct. Yeah, we worked pretty hard. I say we. Kim worked really hard on making that not happen, because that really does stretch us, and it stretches our messaging and our ability to reach people about
everything.
what's about to happen. We do have a stretch, I think, of 5 weekends in a row in the fall and 4 in the summer. So there's a couple of really busy sections for us, but long break in the summer, which is pretty great.
Yeah, it looks like September. It looks like MCM, the Butt, Ginger, and the Ridge are 4 consecutive weekends.
Yeah, New Hampshire tentatively penciled in would be 5, but I think that one's going to get pushed a week. So,
all right.
Well, we'll see. They're working hard to make it happen for us. But yeah,
It's fine.
and then I think Thunder Hill, High Plains, New Jersey, and Gingerman are all stacked up too.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the beginning of the summer, and then you can be done.
Yeah.
Done with it.
But it's busy. But then we have all of July pretty well open. So
Yeah.
All right. So is it too late to talk about wrap ups from this year? I got a couple of questions about this year. Or should we talk about next year's rallies, and then we'll maybe talk about the wrap up this year?
The race wrap ups were just way behind.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask that. I was going to ask about let's do the rallies first, and then I'll ask the final questions. So let's talk about the rallies. New rally, obviously, everybody's talking about is the Alaska rally. So excited. Middle of the summer. The mosquitos won't be bad at all. Don't worry about it. Just go.
No.
Be fine.
Yeah. Man, this one goes back, and it requires a bit of storytelling. But during the pandemic, when we started doing the live, we're bored, so we'll do a live video deal.
Yeah.
Jay and I did one, and Julian Cordell, who is from Alaska, was like, you guys should do an Alaska rally. And Jay was like, okay, that sounds good. And then that was it. And then 6 months later, Julian's like, hey, how about this? And it was like, oh, Jay did say that, didn't he? So
did he build the rally?
Julian's done a lot of work on
good.
And his brother lives in Palmer. So I don't want to announce too much stuff before it's settled, but
I understand.
Dominic Cordell, his brother up there, has been working really hard on finalizing some of this stuff. If you look at the schedule, it makes perfect sense what's about to happen, which is the rally ends on July 4th in Glacier View, which is where they have the big July
car
4th
pulse.
celebration where
Yeah.
they launch cars off of the cliff. Now, the rally isn't going to be officially part of that and vice versa, but the plan tentatively, if we can make it happen, is to do the awards at the party before they start launching cars off the cliff. And then
Because
the rally's over.
some of those
and
lemons
whatever
cars-
happens after that is not our responsibility. basically.
Gotta run,
Um,
gotta go.
Yeah.
From what I understand of my brief reading and watching on YouTube of the topic, you can't just launch a car off the cliff. There is a lot of environmental things you must do to it before you launch it.
I'm sure.
There is a litany of paperwork that anybody who's running the rally and doesn't want to take their car home and wants it flung off the cliff will have to undertake if they would like that to happen. So
Yes.
that is one of the things we're working through right now.
Oh,
We're also
that's awesome.
looking at renting out a campground if we can, and having everybody camp in place. That one's kind of iffy at the moment. And also doing a segment that's optional that's on the Alaska Marine Highway, which is a ferry that you ride from Whittier to Valdez across. It's basically like taking a cruise, honestly. Like it goes through some of the most gorgeous, like glacier-filled bays in the world.
This sounds awesome.
If we
That
can
sounds
make
great.
that happen, but
Goodness.
the problem with that is that Alaska's a big place, but
Yes,
it's not
I've
big
Yeah.
heard
to
that.
accommodate
Yeah, it
a lot
is.
of people. So
you're not going to
hotels-
go 4 miles off course to find a Napa or a Flaps.
No.
Well, I
Oh.
mean, the problem with it, and we've capped it at 25 cars for this reason, is that
Yeah.
there's X number of spaces on the ferries. Hotel rooms, they're just not that many of them. And, sometimes there are big parking lots that'll fit 1,200 cars that'll never be there. And sometimes, there's tiny parking lots that'll fit 8 cars. And that's just the way it is. So we
So
do need to be
you've got a
conscious
lot
of the
of-
space.
You've got a lot of pre-registers. I know the 90s kids from the Texas rally, that is
Mhm.
it's coinciding with one of their graduates or one of them graduating from graduate school. So they're signed up. You've got a bunch of how many I don't
Are
wanna
you
create
already
panic,
sold
but-
out?
Yeah, but how many slots are open if people are on the fence?
If you want to do it, put your money in right now.
All right.
That's what I will say.
You heard it
It
here
is-
first, ladies and gentlemen.
It is extremely
Can't nap on
close.
this one. There you go.
It is possible as we get a better handle on how much space that we might open it up to another handful, but it's not going to get much bigger than it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It might be
Oh.
30, but it's not going to be 50.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh,
There you
so
go.
cool.
We're over 20. I'll say that. So,
Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. So
it's
that,
tight.
so
yikes,
get in.
that-
If you want in, get in.
okay.
All right. Well,
So cool.
We do have 5 other rallies. I hate to make them sound suddenly lesser, but they are much more attainable. Retreat
Well,
from
the
Moscow.
the retreat from Moscow is legendary.
That one's great. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do Deals Gap again. I'm trying to get us into the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville, which is the best
Stellar.
motor museum.
Yeah.
What is in March? Help me out.
Rattle traps.
Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
which is
That's
which is also
Texas.
another great one. And there's a lot of miles. You want an
Yeah.
adventure, do the Texas rally because you are going to cover what 2,000.
Well, it's only 3 days, and we're probably going to try and keep it under 1,200 miles
Okay.
if we can, but they're not going to be easy miles. Just
No,
aren't.
but that's still
Um,
400 miles a day. That's not an easy task.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain Breakdown. We're moving it out of Colorado because I wanted to cover states that we haven't done yet. So we are out of Casper, into Idaho Falls, and then I think it's Missoula, somewhere else in Montana, and then back down to Casper. So we're adding Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana to the Lemons lower 48. And then
Alaska, then
other
Rust Belt
things.
Ramble.
Rust Belt Ramble, yep. Out of Detroit again, setting it up with Andy again. So there'll be another wacky bus tour, which they keep getting better.
Make the news again. Get on Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
was
burned
so
that
funny.
bridge, unfortunately. That's not
I'm
when you
sure
can
you-
Yeah,
do
now they're
twice.
never going to be fooled again. Fool me once,
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
fool
like
me
I feel like
twice.
I
can't
feel like
fool love.
Andy and his crew were pretty creative, and
And
they
if
might-
anybody can do it, it's Andy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be like an anonymous tip to a different TV station. But yeah,
It didn't hear about the incident that happened the last time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, right. There's
the
that.
Gilmore in Kalamazoo wants to be part of the end of the first day, so that is probably going to happen. And then Columbus, and then we're going to end in Cleveland, and the Crawford, where Brad Brownell works, is
Hey, that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's fun.
tour, and we love Brad. You guys love Brad too. I
Mhm.
know. And then fall foliage next year is a week earlier, and we know that makes the actual foliage kind of iffy. So we're just going to go as far north as we can and probably run into the good colors somewhere and do all of Maine.
And
So
a
that's the
caribou,
plan.
probably, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
no Southwest rally this year. Nothing
Yeah, no
California.
West
nothing.
Coast, the numbers have been just kind of slowly fading, and it just wasn't feasible. So I think we might make it an every other year thing unless people really show up in 24 when we do it. So
There you go.
Still a good
figure that
list.
one out, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
are any of these ending at races or coinciding with races?
only retreat from Moscow. One of the things that we discovered is that the rally people, they want to do the races, but it just takes them a little bit longer to get there. So the whole like forcing them to go to a race, which was like the original concept of it, was like, hey, look at what these people are doing. They already know. Like if you're doing a rally, you already
know what a
the
race is,
racing
Right.
You've probably been to a race. It's just not quite on your radar yet. And so
I actually
forcing
thought
them to go to a race.
I thought the
Good.
other way. I thought it was a great way for the race to have something cool going on when all the
Yeah.
the rattle traps ride in, and
Yeah.
that's how I saw that freaking Imperial. That is just like, oh god, I want that car. That thing is amazing.
That's how Half Dan bought his last Cadillac.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think we've set up a online spectator ticketing thing that I think we can set up so that we can give rally people discounted or free spectator tickets to show up to. That's been on my plate for a while. So I think
There you
that's
go.
something I'm going to work on this year.
Well, the retreat from Moscow ends at Barber.
Yep.
It's awesome. It's one of the things I loved about Barber.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about let's talk about some of the things this year. We are ending the first year of the Halloween Meets Gasoline Awards prizes. How'd that go with you? I mean, thank you for giving us one. I hope we made all your fantasies come true with the entirely too deep Blazing Saddles weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't half-ass it. You certainly earned that one. No half measures is kind of the way to go about it. It's been a
mixed bag. It seems
it's been a mixed bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
The team that won at Thompson, they dressed in drag at New Jersey, which gave them some points for it. But nobody kind of blew us away at Thompson. And those have been kind of hard. For the most part, it's been a one or two team. It's been rare that we've had to pick between two teams.
I've heard one of the grumblings, and I don't know if you guys is folks would be a little more into it if it came with a patch.
Okay.
Because that's the big
Get
thing.
out. Is that really what people are saying?
Oh, because everyone's got their IOE patch. Like your hardcore IOE folks, they've got their IOEs on their suits or their jackets. And if there was an HE, also that you could brag about, I've won 4 Halloween Meets Gasolines.
I sold out for eBay.
Totes.
I love that.
That would actually, get eBay to buy them. That would be awesome. They would probably.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
I definitely felt like some of the teams really got into it, but I don't think we're like on the East Coast. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we know the history that the East Coast does not theme as hard as some of the other areas, and we obviously love theming, so we were hoping people would pick it up a little bit, and it seems some did and some didn't. So when you're in other areas, has it picked up differently in other areas, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. The West Coast has kind of had a thematic resurgence, which is great. There's a new team that showed up in the Pacific Northwest, the Loose Nuts team. They won 3 times this year. I mean, obviously it was their thing.
Yeah. We assumed we didn't have a chance of winning again in the same year, so we're actually saving.
Honestly,
we're saving the good stuff for next year. So.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like it's not like IOE with the same car where you really need to do something different to kind of get there. I think this is one we consider independently. And here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't think about with Lemons, including ourselves, is that it took Lemons 5 or 6 years to kind of figure out how to do anything. So something in its first year, we're still figuring it out. We're still figuring out what it really means and what the criteria are. And,
it's eBay's money anyway. So,
yeah, I don't want to make it seem like we haven't put any thought into it, but, it's something that's going to evolve as they keep giving more of them, basically. And it can be something different every time. Like, it doesn't have to be all blazing saddles, the Rax Restaurants bit.
The Rax Restaurant, yes. I mean, hats off really to those people. That was. I am in awe of the Rax Restaurant.
Yeah. The deep dive kind of stuff. That's hilarious to me. Space Pants was like a year long,
the slog
misery fest.
Stop the Space Pants. I know Matt Farrenchuk, right? No,
Matt Farrenchuk, you're probably listening.
I love it, Matt. I still laugh when I see it in the wrap ups. I still laugh when I see it in the track. I love it.
Yeah, the criteria is that they can never bring it again, ever.
That's fine. I'm okay. We're all okay with that.
Yeah, the trophy ceremony was literally we're giving this to you, please effing stop.
Yes. Yep.
Stop
I was there.
That sounds like a new name for the award. The eBay Motors.
You can cut this out now.
Presents the please never do this again.
Unless you want them to do it again. I mean, we can come back.
Well, I mean, they could. Well, no, I'm not going to give.
No, not them. Anyway, no, other.
Nope.
Yes.
If you thought Baby Shark was annoying,
right?
That's just because you haven't been in the paddock with Space Pants.
And the whole team wearing. Did you? Oh, because you didn't hear it all the time.
Space Pants. No. Sorry.
Stop it.
But I don't know. I think it's working. I think it's doing what we were hoping it.
And it's building, is what I think I'm hearing. Yeah. It's not. It didn't slam it out the park immediately, but it's a slower burn.
It's been a slow build, I would say.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I also noticed, and I'm going to bring this up because you haven't read the notes probably. You don't even know it's coming, but all of a sudden you have been in costume at the last couple of races.
Do you get an award?
Is this a thing? Did you just?
Yeah. I was like, the Autobahn thing was like, oh man, Aaron's going to be there. Aaron Cole.
Yeah.
For the drive.
Photographer for Lemons. Great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Love that guy. And we just were talking about, I don't know, Frank Bacon's we'd met through the business. And then it was like, well, why don't we just do this? And like Wednesday before the race, I make these fake press passes with our names on it and these fake titles. I don't even remember what they say. And then I put a QR code on them that goes to the YouTube video of cat on a keyboard in space, which is like my greatest favorite random thing on the internet.
Wait. We're trying to win awards. Say that again. Keyboard cat is your favorite thing.
Internet keyboard cat.
Just listen back. Press rewind. 15.
My cat just walked by. I can catch her.
But yeah, no, and that was like, well, I got to go to the thrift store and buy a journalist outfit now. So I buy like, khakis that are a half size, not a half size, two
Yeah,
sizes.
3 sizes too big.
So they're all baggy and a bad suit jacket. And, the only branded hat I had was, Yokohama. I don't have a Porsche hat. So,
No, I could have got
bought
you.
one
I
just
did
yeah,
my
right.
But then, did I do something?
And then at Thompson, at New Hampshire, you were dressed up in the old timey baseball deal.
Yeah, it was Halloween, so I was like, well, I gotta bring a costume. It's the World Series.
And your puns were really good.
Yeah,
You,
the
you
baseball
really,
theme was
yeah,
awesome.
you had your baseball, everything basically you said had some kind
Yeah.
of baseball theme to it. It was
Yeah, and
just
again, that was like a week
admirable.
before it, I was like, I want to do this. And I don't know. And then it was like, I wanted to buy like a vintage like wool baseball uniform, and then it turns out those are like $400. So
Yeah, now we know.
I guess
So
I'm
your
not
pants
playing
and sweater
the,
looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, whatever, Amazon could get me in 2 days. So, and then, it was like the 19 teens Christy Mathewson sweater kind of deal.
Okay, big cable net
My
thigh length.
the
Yeah.
blouse, pants, the whole deal. And then, smacking the cars on the ass as they went out. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
That was good.
I saw you had like balls and gloves, so I expected some penalties with people having to play catch for a bit of a time. But
yeah, the trouble with New Hampshire is that there's no good place to do that where you're not going to have some really bad athlete, i.e. a Lemons racer, not catch the ball and have it go through somebody's windshield.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
anybody you're giving a penalty to in New Hampshire, you probably a little bit more pissed off than go play baseball. You're like, you're an asshole. Cut it out.
Yeah. So here's the thing about New Hampshire is I know it's always that way. The last time I was was in 2020, which is during the pandemic. Car counts were down and everybody was just happy to be there. So it was like this magical time where everybody was.
Oh, the East Coasters aren't so nasty.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's not so bad.
When New Jersey race isn't as bad as a New Hampshire race, you know that race is aggro.
Yeah. I'll give you. What do you think? The first call was contact for the whole weekend. How many minutes do you think it took for that to happen?
Oh, it was like 2 minutes. It was the orange BMW. It came in like on the first lap.
No, that wasn't the car, but
okay.
Jeff says 2. Mental says 6. Chrissy says
How long it took for this to happen?
For the first call.
I somewhere in between there, probably 3.
it was 3 minutes.
3
minutes. Yeah. 3 minutes for the first 2 idiots to run into each other.
9:03 first
all
call.
day.
Yeah.
All day. Yeah.
Did they pull the I had the line, or did they come in and say we're idiots?
No, everybody got hit. That was the story for the entire weekend. Nobody did the
Nobody
hitting.
did the hitting.
I'm not saying anything because I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what I said when I came in. I got hit.
No. It was, you spun the car. No, I got hit. Okay, great.
Sure.
You had contact. No, I got hit. It was the entire weekend. So, I think a normal percentage of contact calls for an entire day is probably something like 3 to 5%.
Oh.
And if I went back and looked at it and counted it up officially, it was probably closer to 30 and 35%.
Oh, it was
Which
bad.
I know.
Wow.
It was bad.
Everybody says, that's New Hampshire, but
It was bad this year.
That way.
It was absolutely bad this year. Well, anyway, we go back to listen to last week's show. We covered that. We don't have to cover it again.
Okay.
And stop driving aggro.
Well, from an official standpoint, it sucked, and I did not enjoy that.
I'm sure. Sorry.
You
So
made
you didn't
Eric
get as much
sad.
baseball.
All of you.
You didn't get as much baseball out of me as you might have hoped. So.
No,
Because
Maybe
you
next
made Eric sad.
it's true.
Well, you definitely chuckled a few out of my clown jokes. That's all that
jokes.
matters.
Yeah.
We are gonna I think that's all of our questions. Is there anything you want to talk about any breaking news you want to give us?
No, I know there's cold beer waiting for me down on.
Yeah,
BS
so
Universal
let's just
Wheel.
wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
I think we have a what is it, Chrissy? Is it a hella sweet? Is it a
I have no idea. It's
what is it? Mental? Do you
this
know?
It's just
a
mental
news-
run, just mental run in his mouth.
Mental rants about shit
All right.
and uses his philosophy degree. Coming up.
As you are listening to this, for most of you, tomorrow is Veterans Day. And I'm not going to tell you not to thank a vet. None of us ever complain when you say thank you. But if you truly mean it, and it's not just lip service, because this is election season, consider a donation to a veterans organization. You don't have to give money, perhaps time or even equivalent. Now, two of our favorites are obviously Battle Scarred Motorsports and Ranger Road. Battle Scarred runs primarily in the Gulf Coast. Ranger Road is out west, but they do all kinds of stuff even outside of Ranger. These are both 501c nonprofits licensed, and they help our veterans and first responders with what is known as adrenaline therapy, which is a real thing. Gets people functioning back in a team environment and helps kind of get them out of some of those dark places and just gets them outdoors and gets them having some fun. We had Jeff Langston on from Ranger Road a few shows back, and the positive impact that these crews are having on their members is real. Consider wrenching with them for a weekend. Maybe you don't need to race, or if they've got a team near you, go down there and help them put something back together, or donating even your expired driver's gear because they need folks that help refuel, that sort of thing, or just driver's gear that you're not using. If you get a hold of them through their contact pages, and those are linked in our show notes, they also have Amazon wish list where they need tools or equipment or consumables, and you can donate that even anonymously if you wish. Also, both of them are on the Amazon Roundup program, which I'm a part of. A link to their websites. It's all in our show notes. And did we miss a group that's helped getting our veterans and first responders onto the track or just back and reintegrated in society? Let us know. We'll be happy to talk to them as well.
Yeah, Jeff was great. And not only does Ranger Road do this, but they do other programs too, parachuting and fishing and all that kind of fun things. Yeah.
And talk to those guys. They're just great. They're all just great people.
So great.
All right, Eric, any other last minute things to plug? Lemons, hashtags, YouTube channels before we wrap this puppy up?
Yeah, 24 Hours of Lemons on Facebook, Instagram. I believe we are also not running ads on Twitter anymore.
Yes.
I tried to at
it's funny 'cause-
Lemons at TikTok and it didn't exist. You need to
we don't
create
have
an
TikTok.
account just so I can at you.
Well,
You really don't. I promise.
we'll talk
you
about
don't need
that
to.
eventually.
Yeah, you can.
Anyway, YouTube every Tuesday, new wrap up or Lemons World every Thursday, Lemons Car Spotting. We have other stuff going up there all the time, shorter stuff. Go look at the new website, 24 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty.
New schedules all up there. Sign up for the Alaska Rally now if you want to do it. And that's pretty much it. Come see us in Minneapolis on Saturday.
Yeah,
St. Paul.
St. Paul. That's fine. Is there a difference? It's a twin city. They're the same thing, right?
I'm just gonna not correct that faux pas right there. There's definitely a difference.
From New Jersey. Thank you, Eric, for being with us, and thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. If you're watching on YouTube, talk to us right down there in the doodly-doo. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers. Email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Text mental 484-243-0455.
Got some great junk pics this from Houston.
Now we're gonna get demonetized. Oh, that's an arm, not a.
No.
mind.
Yeah, no, it's just junk pics. That's when the guys from Breaking Bad went mowing the lawn at Houston. It was great.
I did see that. That's great. Anyway, we're here. We're even on Reddit /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless you're like us and you race rubbered it and both sides are shiny, and now you can just keep those wheels down.